Hey all, welcome to Parker's Reefs. On today's episode I want to take you through a little bit of a journey about a piece of equipment and some consumables I've been running on my tank now for about a year. Alright, so way back in May 2019, which with all of this coronavirus stuff happening, that feels like an absolute lifetime ago, but it was actually less than a year ago. I was in Wollongong in New South Wales, Australia for a work conference, and once I found out that Hmahli is also located in Wollongong, I could not help but go and visit Eric and his family, have a meal and a couple of beers with the guys while we had a bit of a tour of the workshop. And I've got a video of that which I'll put down here, but I'll also give you the full link to the video in the description. Absolutely incredible. Eric, a self-made guy, seems to be able to pick up anything, whether it's renovating houses or building world-class acrylic sumps. The guy just teaches himself and does things to the nth degree. So I highly recommend you check out the tour of the facility. But the point of this video was, while I was there, I picked up one of Eric's incredible resin reactors. So I've been using this resin reactor for almost a year, and I must admit I haven't put a video out for it yet because despite early impressions, I was using the Blue Life phosphate, nitrate and organics resins. I initially got really good results from those resins, and then kind of the efficiency of them dropped off after recharging a couple of times. Probably just me. I know other people are saying they get fantastic results out of them, but I found that when I'd first put them in, for instance, talking about phosphates, if I'd add the phosphate resin when it was brand new, my phosphates would go from 0.1 down to like 0.0. Basically, they'd bottom out like in a day. Then they'd slowly creep up. I'd recharge the resin and I'd put them back in, and they'd come down to like about 0.04. Then they'd slowly creep up. I'd recharge the resin, and then after a couple of times, the resin started to get to the point where it felt like it was making little to no difference. Again, I'm not casting any shadow over the product. It just didn't work for me in my situation. So my resin reactor kind of felt like it wasn't doing all that much for a while, despite the fact that the resin reactor itself was operating beautifully. Then a fellow on one of our Australian forums here, or one of our Facebook pages actually, Reese Fenton, big shout out to Reese, gave me the tip of using either Macropore or a Secam Purigen. And Macropore is a kind of a Secam Purigen, I don't want to say knockoff, but it's a kind of it's similar, or a like-for-like product. So using those real fine little meteors in the resin reactor, because they normally come in like these really fine mesh bags, and you're just meant to just drop them in your sump. And I find because the meteor is so fine that they have to use these really fine mesh bags, that it's just really difficult to get good water flow through there. And as soon as you get a bit of detritus or something on those bags, the efficiency seems to just really drop. And you can recharge Secam Purigen, I'm told, but you're kind of suggested to throw it out and replace it, which I'm not sure if that's a consumer thing or whether it's a just because it's maybe not safe to recharge. But I feel like you're wasting a lot of the product if if it's in one of those fine mesh bags and you're only really getting water to hit the surface of it and none of the meteor in the inside. So putting the meteor into one of these Hmahli reactors seems to work an absolute treat. And I'll show you some footage where this meteor just gently tumbles through and it gets the absolute most efficiency out of that meteor. And whether it's that meteor or something else, so I've got of course, there's other meteors you can run in there, whether it be the Blue Life resins, which will the reactors are designed for them, so they do work an absolute treat in there. And if you're getting them to recharge more efficiently, good, they will do an absolutely fantastic job. You could also put things like copramine in there, Secam copramine, if you're needing to remove copper or any other sort of heavy metals from your tank. You can also run some other things in there, some temporary or some ongoing meteors. But personally, I'm getting some really good results with Secam Purigen. I find that it's pulling out some of the organics out of my water just before it converts to nitrite, nitrate and phosphates, which just seems to just take the load off my other meteors. So things like my GFO and my sulfur reactor can kind of just have a bit of a deep breath and just not work as hard. I'm finding I have to replace those meteors significantly less often. I also find the Secam Purigen does a really good job of polishing the water, and I know it's not a carbon, although you could run something like the Blue Life Clear FX Pro, which is a non-rechargeable media they do. It is kind of like a supercharged carbon, and I feel like It kind of feels like a bit of an evolution of the Chemi Pure range of medias, which were really popular back a few years ago. It feels like the next iteration of that, which has been very popular over years, and I should try it in this reactor because I think it would be quite a hit. But for now, Purigen is working an absolute treat in there, and I basically just wanted to do this video because I just noticed this reactor has been running in my tank now for a year, and I've recently fallen back in love with it with this new media, and I thought I should let the world know. I'm sure everyone else is already ahead of me, but it's just something I haven't covered before. I've got the Hmahli Resin Reactor running an absolute treat with some different medias from its initial conception, I guess. Check them out. I'll put a link to their website down below. In Australia, you can pick up the Hmahli resin reactors from a lot of local fish shops. They come with a reactor. They come with a Sichet pump with the adapter to the 1/4 inch quick push tube. Comes with a tap to regulate that, the tube, everything you need. It's a plug and play situation. You just add the media you want to run. That's all I've got for today, guys. Short and sharp, but while I'm locked down, while we get through this coronavirus thing, I thought I may as well get out a video and just tell you something about my tank that I haven't covered before. Till next time, thanks for watching. Bye.